The arena buzzed with anticipation as a young man stepped onto the stage, his presence both humble and captivating. Alimuddin, a Filipino singer with gentle eyes and a quiet demeanor, gripped the microphone as though it was his only anchor in the sea of lights and faces before him. When asked about his journey, he revealed a story that instantly touched hearts, growing up in poverty, singing on busy streets to earn coins for his ailing mother, never knowing if tomorrow would be kinder. His voice was soft yet steady, carrying the weight of sacrifice and love. The crowd listened intently, drawn to the vulnerability in his words. For a moment, the stage wasn't about competition or fame, it was about a young man who had turned pain into passion, and who now stood before the world, ready to bare his soul through song. As the music began, Alimuddin closed his eyes and took a deep breath, as if summoning every memory, every struggle, into that first note. The moment his voice filled the air, the atmosphere in the arena shifted. It was pure, powerful, and carried an aching tenderness that silenced even the most restless in the crowd. His song was not just melody, it was a story, each lyric woven with hardship and hope, each note drenched in love for the mother he longed to heal. The audience leaned forward, mesmerized, some already wiping tears from their eyes. The judges sat motionless, stunned by the honesty in his tone. Simon Cowell, known for his sharp critiques, softened visibly, his gaze fixed, unblinking. It was clear, this was more than a performance. It was a soul opening itself to the world, and the world had no choice but to listen. Halfway through the performance, Alimuddin's voice wavered, the weight of his emotions almost breaking him. For a split second, the arena seemed to hold its breath. His hands shook, and his eyes glistened under the stage lights, as though the pain of every sacrifice, every sleepless night of singing on the streets, had suddenly surged to the surface. The audience sensed his struggle and erupted in cheers, clapping, shouting words of encouragement, refusing to let him fall. Alimuddin lifted his gaze, and in that instant, it was as if he saw his mother smiling back at him, urging him to keep going. With renewed strength, his trembling turned into power. His voice soared, stronger, deeper, filled with unshakable conviction. The performance was no longer just about music, it became a declaration of love, resilience, and unbroken spirit, transforming the stage into a place of pure, unforgettable humanity. As the final notes echoed through the arena, a profound silence fell, broken only by the sound of muffled sobs in the crowd. Then, one by one, the audience rose to their feet, erupting into thunderous applause and cheers that shook the room. On the judges' panel, emotions overflowed. Sofia Vergara pressed her hands to her heart, her eyes glistening with tears. Heidi Klum reached for a tissue, visibly moved by the depth of his voice. Howie Mandel whispered with awe, his voice cracking as he said, This is why people come here." But the most striking moment came from Simon Cowell. The notoriously stoic judge leaned forward, his jaw tight, his eyes glassy, fighting back tears. For the first time in a long while, words seemed to fail him. Instead, his silence spoke volumes. He was witnessing not just talent, but something that touched the very soul. Suddenly, Simon pushed back his chair and stood up, stunning the audience. The room fell into an expectant hush, everyone sensing something monumental was about to happen. Without hesitation, Simon reached across the judge's desk and slammed the golden buzzer. In an instant, golden confetti rained down like a shower of blessings, sparkling under the stage lights. Alimuddin dropped to his knees, overwhelmed by the sheer weight of the moment. Tears streamed down his face as he clasped his hands together, shaking with gratitude and disbelief. The crowd erupted into cheers, their voices rising like a wave of celebration. The judges rushed toward the stage, embracing him in pure admiration and joy. For Alimuddin, this was not just a victory, it was the transformation of years of hardship into triumph, the validation of every sacrifice, and the moment his voice finally became a beacon of hope to the world. Through tears and confetti, Alimuddin finally found his voice again. Holding the microphone close, he thanked the judges, the roaring audience, and most of all, his mother, whose strength had carried him through the darkest days. His words were simple but powerful. He sang not for fame, but to prove that love and sacrifice can light the way even in the hardest of times. The camera panned across the audience, capturing faces glowing with inspiration, strangers united by one young man's courage and heart. Millions watching at home felt the same lump in their throat, the same spark of hope stirring within. As the stage lights dimmed, the moment lingered, not as just another talent show triumph, but as a universal reminder: no dream is too distant, no struggle too heavy, when it is carried by love and resilience. Alimuddin's song had become everyone's song, a hymn of hope.